Hey, what's up, folks? This is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video is going to be an update for you on Trias. So this one is coming via request from Twitter for a big update on everything that's happening with the Trias project. So a lot has happened since my last video on May 17th. In some ways, not a whole lot has happened with the chart, right? So there's a ton of opportunity here, a lot going on, and quite a few things that you may want to be aware of if you've been following Trias. So we're going to be talking about that in today's video, giving you a thorough update on everything that's going on. Do I stick with my price prediction or change it? Well, we'll see about that in the video, right? And so I'll be giving you some news and then some final thoughts, all right? So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. So as a reminder and throwback to my last video, what is Trias? Well, Trias is basically decentralized cloud computing infrastructure at 100,000 TPS or transactions per second. All right? Now, last video was recorded on May 17th. At that time, the market cap for Trias was 28 million, while the coin was ranked number 690. And trading was roughly around $19.33 per token. As you can see here in the chart, this was right before the market dropped for a few months, right? So as of today, it is currently at roughly $16.83 as of this video being recorded on October 28th, 2021, and it's on the rise again, all right? Now, if we insert the trading view chart here, you can see that almost at the exact time I posted the video, the crypto market as a whole went bearish, as seen by the drop in the 20-day EMA, that's the red line, all right? Trias then went bearish all the way into August. Since that time, though, volume has been steadily building while the EMAs have fully corrected, and as of today, Trias is currently up over 27% with the RSI spiking. So zooming out further, you can see here that the trend lines of my prior prediction, obviously the market dropped and kept it well below that trend, but could it go on another run and beat its high earlier in the year? That's the real question, right? I think absolutely. Now, just look at the building volume as a bit of an indicator. Now, honestly, all it really needs is a Binance or a Coinbase listing, because from my last video till now, it is still mainly on KuCoin. Funny story, in that video, I used to refer to it as Qcoin. Well, I've learned since, and now it's KuCoin. Anyway, now, and to that effect, here's a post from Twitter that first mentions a couple of posts from Telegram, all right? So post one has Dr. Ambang Ruan, he's the creator here, talking about a fun fourth quarter, specifically that they're not satisfied by being listed by only one centralized exchange. Interesting, right? Post two asks when the next exchange, and in response, Trias says, many, but we cannot comment on it. Huh. Post 3, posted by Binance, specifically mentions Trias, okay. And lastly, we had Trias Japan retweeting a Binance tweet. What exactly it says, I don't know Japanese. But I do know it's interesting that they're retweeting a Binance tweet, right? Okay, fair enough. Now, is there anything at all concrete here? The answer as of today is no, there's not, right? But, and this is important, where there's smoke, there's typically fire, right? And by all indications, it appears Trias is targeting a Binance listing. So I don't see anything that would indicate a Coinbase listing, but I do get the hints of a Binance listing, all right? Now, in terms of other news, so Trias announced yesterday that they have a new CEO of Trias Japan, which is Kitano Yoshikatsu. So Mr. Yoshikatsu will be tasked with leading Trias in the Asia-Pacific region. That's a big deal, right? They also had the launch of the Triathlon NFT market, which opened for auctions on October 21st. So in this post, they mentioned it achieved roughly $63,000 in its first day alone, but it's just a start, right? Now, specific to the NFTs, Trias says Triathlon Metaverse is a two-way communication between the real world and the game world, where users can stake NFTs for weapons against other spaceships or combine NFTs for more powerful weapons. When they win the battle, they receive rewards. So this is kind of interesting, right? So basically they're combining NFTs and gaming. Why that's a big deal is gaming is really big, especially in Japan, right? So, you just got to follow the breadcrumbs here. In another headline, they recapped an AMA with Dr. Ruan. So most of it centered around NFTs and Triathlon, but we did have a few interesting nuggets come out of it. Like, someone inquired about a rumored partnership with Mitsubishi. So Dr. Ruan says, we are making a few things happen in Tokyo. Announcements will come. Okay. Another asked if we can expect a new partnership announcement in the fourth quarter, kind of along those same lines, right? Dr. Ruan says they are working on it, but due to the COVID situation, many things are delaying. So that's fully understandable. Everything is delaying. There's supply shortages everywhere. COVID is a big hindrance on the marketplace in general all over the world. So I totally get it, right? Now, he also mentions that in regards to the Trias token holders, that staking plans will be initiated to allow Trias tokens to keep generating our Echo Projects tokens. So he's obviously referring to the Triathlon token and possibly others, right? Now, they also posted in earlier October that they're pleased with how things are going on the Binance Smart Chain. Okay, so for some final thoughts here. So Trias still has a load of potential, right? If you look at what Solana's been doing with 50,000 TPS, well, Trias has 100,000. It's double. These are just the facts, right? Now, Trias is still in the very early stages of development, though. Does it have anywhere near the market share of a Solana or an Ethereum or anybody? Absolutely not. It has nowhere near that, okay? What that means, though, is that there's a lot of opportunity, right? So being that they moved half the tokens to the Binance Smart Chain and have referenced Binance, and that they're not content with just one exchange listing and they're Asia Pacific based, I think a Binance listing is definitely the next big rock on the horizon. Absolutely. I wouldn't bet against that, okay? Now, the idea of staking Trias and farming other tokens is very much in line with what Binance does, with what PancakeSwap does on the Binance Smart Chain. So if you follow that idea, it all kind of makes sense and comes together, and you can kind of see where they're going with this, right? So ultimately, being that it is still undervalued, is there a boatload of potential here? Absolutely, right? I see people talking about Trias all the time on Twitter. For some reason, it's always Trias and Veracity, always in the same conversation. I don't know why everyone in the UK loves those, other than London Crypto on Twitter talks about it all the time, every day. Maybe that's why. And by the way, I'll probably end up doing an update on Veracity here as well, because that's been a little while coming. But going back to Trias, I think they've got a ton of things in the works, a lot of good stuff happening. Really, they just kind of need to get out there more. Every project takes development. Things don't happen overnight. And sometimes there are delays with something like COVID, right? But does that mean that we couldn't have a really great fourth quarter? We absolutely could, right? This could have an awesome fourth quarter, especially if you're scooping it up on KuCoin now, and then, they later listed it on Binance. That's a really big deal, right? So ton of potential here with Trias. I really like the project. I think it's a good one. Anybody who says out there, oh, it's a scam. Well, How exactly is that, right? I'm getting real sick of, those comments. I always say, oh, it's a scam. Well, tell me why. What's your logic? There's never any logic behind statements like that. Now, one thing I would say here is that with those posts that I referenced earlier, was there anything really concrete there? No, there wasn't. But if you kind of just connect the whole picture, you can see how they're moving towards that Binance listing. So I do think that's going to happen, possibly here in the fourth quarter. So if they did it past the fourth quarter, could they miss this entire Bitcoin cycle? Yeah. So would it make more sense for them to do it in the fourth quarter? Yes, it would, right? This is when the market's going to be the hottest. So I think that, by all accounts, looks to be the case. Trias continues to develop, a new CEO. That's a big deal. And further partnerships in Japan, really like that. So that's it for our update today on Trias. If you got any comments, by all means, leave them. If there's something I missed, by all means, leave it in the comments. But it, by all accounts, appears that Trias has a very bright future ahead of it. All right, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget that I'm also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting on a regular basis. Check me out there. And for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. And I will see you on the next one.